Good morning. So I have two projects I am working on today, garden projects today. You can hear the goose in the background. One is getting an okra bed planted. So we really enjoy okra and want to grow a good amount for ourselves this year. So I've had cardboard on the ground in the area that I've wanted to put the okra seeds in. I'm just now getting to it. It is almost the end of May. It is the end of May, and I meant to do this the 1st of May. So hopefully it's not too late to grow some okra. Another is start some raised rows. So I've been mulling over a row garden area, and I think I've decided on what I want to do. So this doesn't look like much right now, but this is the future okra bed. It's not a very large area, but just growing some okra for our family. I have the Brussels sprouts next to it, which I have been trying to guard from the chickens because they like to eat Brussels sprouts too. And yeah, I've been losing some of my support posts for the chicken fence, and this is what it looks like now. But hopefully it'll look a little bit better soon. This is my successful garden that's going on. I got tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets. This is celery and carrots that I am growing from food scraps. I regrow a lot of my food from kitchen scraps. This is my bamboo raised garden that I started this year. Built this from bamboo we have on the property and filled it up with logs, mulch, compost, and organic raised bed soil on the top. So we got a bunch of our onions, we got our spinach that is bolting now, we got some broccoli that is nicely shading the lettuce. That's growing really well in here too. I'm going to be using the same method of large wood to soil for my raised rows. So I'm going to be showing you how I do an instant garden with no tilling. I don't till because I like to keep the soil in place so the nutrients don't get washed away. This is how I did the Brussels sprouts garden that I had next to the okra, so I'm just doing the same thing. I'm going to show you the process this time. So I start with cardboard on the ground. I have kitchen scraps, which I keep a compost bin in my kitchen. I'm going to actually go grab that and spread the kitchen scraps under the cardboard. That's gonna be some worm food for them. I'm gonna put the cardboard on top, and it's gonna keep the ground moist and help keep out the weeds. I'm gonna put some thick mulch on top of that. That's gonna kind of mimic my logs like I put in my raised bed, and gonna be kind of some thick stuff. And it's also gonna help keep the weeds down. Then I'm gonna spread about 2 to 3 inches of leaf compost and manure compost, whatever kind of compost I have going on in my pile, or whatever you might have. A lot of compost is gonna go on top of that. And then some organic soil that I purchased from a local store. So as you can see, the cardboard I threw down is already hindering the weeds. And I had put down some food scraps already, and I'm going to add some more to it. But I knew this is where I wanted the okra to go. So I just started throwing down cardboard as I collected it. And now I'm ready to move on to the next step. One of my baby chickens got out. Coming to check out what's going on over here. Alright, so I got my kitchen scraps and under the cardboard, and my cardboard is now done in the area that I want to plant. I'm probably going to come forward probably to the top of that white bag. Didn't quite have as much cardboard as I thought I did, but that's okay because I'm going to be putting down a bunch of mulch. So you might be thinking mulch on the bottom, that's crazy, but that will decompose over time and turn into wonderful soil. And it will help cut down on weeds since I'm not tilling. I'm kind of a lazy gardener. All right, so I got a few loads of mulch in there. I'm gonna spread that with my rake, and then I'm gonna start with some loads of compost. All right, got my leaf compost spread out over. You can see it's pretty big, pretty tall. We got a few inches of height here. See how deep I have it back here. I am a little bit on a slant, a little bit on a hill. So it's thicker back here and thicker on the sides to kind of level it out a little bit. So you can see how deep I have that. Now I could retain this with some boards, and I may retain it with fallen trees. I really like using resources that I already have on my property. So that's the last step until I get some soil. So I'm gonna make a trip to the local, it's not a nursery, they just have soils and amendments, organic. So it's a new place, Epic Green Thumb in Conover, that I really like. So they have an organic raised bed soil that I'm gonna use, and that's gonna go on top of this leaf compost. If you do not compost, I highly recommend starting. It's really easy. Just gather leaves from your yard and keep all your kitchen scraps, keep a container in your kitchen, and just, you know, when you're cutting up your produce, just throw it in there. Only thing I don't add is onions to my compost. I don't think worms really like onions. You can try it if you want, but I keep onions and garlic out. So definitely compost. This leaf compost is free from our city. So if you have a trailer or some way of going to get compost from your city, check with them, see if they have leaf compost and mulch, probably for free too, from all the tree trimmings they do around town. So definitely take advantage of any free resources that you have around, because I like free. One step I forgot to mention was water down each layer. It had rained, it's been raining here for a couple days, so most of my stuff was already wet. But after you put that cardboard down, wet it down real good. After you put down the mulch, wet it down real good. After you put down the compost, wet it down real good. And then when you put down the soil, wet it down real good. So every layer has some moisture in it. So this is the area I'm going to be putting a larger raised row garden. I'm going to be using the same concept that I did for the okra bed. But instead of doing a block, intensively planted block, I'm gonna be doing rows here. So we recently had someone come in with a mulching skid steer, and they thinned out our woods. As you can see, it was like this, now it's like this. So we have all this wonderful mulch on the ground, and I had been kind of piling it up, as you can see back there. This is gonna be a food plot for deer down here. I know I'm going to be attracting deer to my garden, but I'll be fencing it later. I'm also a deer hunter, so got to share the land. But I'm going to be taking that mulch, spreading it real thick up here like I did for the okra bed. I am going to do it in a big block area, but then I'll be putting the soil in rows and leaving mulched aisles in between. Wood mulching your aisles is going to help keep down the weeds and also help amend the soil in the future. So stay tuned to see how the raised row garden comes about. Before I run to the store for the soil, I am going to go ahead and plant the rest of these Brussels sprouts and get them in the ground, since I've been procrastinating on that. Baby chicken checking out the new okra bed, seeing how good I did. While Goosey stands guard. All right, so I am back from my trip to Epic Green Thumb, and they did not have the organic raised bed soil I got before. So I learned something new, as I usually do when I go there. I usually just go in, I tell them what I'm doing and what I'm looking for, and they point me in the right direction. So they are having a hard time with supplies, getting supplies just like everybody else is. Prices have gone up in shipping, so that's why they don't have the other organic raised bed soil. So she pointed me in the direction of this. Pro Mix with Mycorrhizae. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but I learned about Mycorrhizae, and that's what I spread on top of my okra bed. So what it is a fungus that has a symbiotic relationship with plants and helps their roots grow better. So sounds good, right? So I've never used this product before, so we'll see how it goes. It is peat moss, the Mycorrhizae, some lime, and a wetting agent, all in this Pro Mix. And one bag, it was a 60-pound bag, covers 3.8 cubic feet, and so that covered the whole top of my okra bed. So not too bad. Right now the seeds are soaking. Okra seeds need to soak for 12 to 18 hours to help soften up their seed coat. So the seeds are soaking, and tomorrow I will be planting. So I'll show you how that goes. All right, so I soaked my seeds overnight. You can see what they look like now. Some of them even popped open a little bit, and planted them in the okra bed. You should plant them 3 feet apart, but I'm intensely planting this little pot, so I did about every 1.5 feet. I use this little bamboo pole. Just kind of poke a little hole in it, and then we drop the seed in there. So I will update you soon on how the okra gets going. I'm going to, after they pop through, I'm going to mulch this with some more leaf compost or maybe some light mulch to help keep weeds down even more. In the meantime, I'll leave you with a quick video of me setting up the new electric fence for the baby chickens that I moved to the field after planting my okra. Thanks for checking out my video, and I look forward to showing you how big and tall our okra grows.